everybody. Thank you very much for coming to this breakout. We are going to be going over reconstructing your clients' credit scores and building additional pipelines of business. Hello, Ross. How's it going? We have about 30 minutes here. I'm going to try to get done in a little bit over 20 so that we can answer questions. And a lot of you, as I speak, I think are going to have specific scenarios maybe that are popping up or that you're running into often. I want to leave a little bit of time for questions. So I'll just try to dive in. If there's a burning question or something that I'm talking about, feel free to speak up or raise your hand. I like it to be interactive. It takes a little bit of pressure off of me. So awesome. So who are we? Who am I? My name is Sam Parker. I'm the CEO and co-founder of My Credit Guy. I've been doing credit repair for a little bit over 20 years. My Credit Guy was launched in 2015, and what we really wanted to do was to kind of break the mold of credit repair companies. We don't even like to call ourselves credit repair, but at the end of the day, it's all semantics anyway, so it is what it is. It's what we're doing. We're just the best at it, in our opinion, and in our partners' opinions. So what we did was, instead of building a company and then coming and begging for your leads, we built a company for our lender partners. We built it asking questions of you and your peers while we were building it, so that we made sure to accomplish what it is that you would actually want in a partner, not what we want for leads, right? So the credit challenge. Many clients don't qualify for loans due to credit issues. News break, right? And aside from people that operate mainly on A-paper or jumbo loans, it's usually the number one reason that people aren't qualifying, but it's one of the places that people spend the least amount of time, maybe giving some general advice, doing a rapid rescore or what-if simulator, but a lot of those things either don't get done, or to do them at scale is near impossible, right? And so what we wanted to do was provide a system where you could think of it like an incubator. No matter how far away somebody was from qualifying, that we could work with them for 2 weeks. We can work with them for 5 months if we need to. But the bottom line is, once somebody enters your ecosystem as a lender, we as your partner don't really see a reason why they wouldn't stay in that ecosystem for not only this loan, but for every loan after that. And so what we're really trying to do is plug up those leaks in your pipeline, okay? So My Credit Guy, we are a full service credit restoration company. We're not one or two people working out of our house. We're also not a call center that gets sued by the CFPB for billions of dollars. We have a staff of about 70 people, and we're very good at what we do. We're based out of Iowa, so you got those nice Midwest people that don't know any better than to treat your clients like gold, because they are so much like your clients. They come from that servant mentality where they don't know any better than just to do right by people. And so each one of your clients that works with us is going to be assigned to a dedicated credit coach that truly cares about them. A little bit of like behind the scenes, they get bonused when they get deals back to you. So they know, and like their hair is on fire, they are trying to get deals back to you. Plus they really care about your clients, and they get a very tight relationship with them as they work. You'll have a lot of tears. Like, I read the emails, listen to the voicemails. I'm like, geez, you guys get so deep into this, but they're so good at what they do. And so that's what we wanted to build for you, for your clients. We work directly with clients to address inaccurate, outdated, duplicated information. Some people will be like, yeah, but can you work on like the stuff that's not wrong? And it's like, yeah, absolutely. And that's the majority of what we're dealing with. Like, here's the deal. When you send me a client, if you send me 10 clients, there might be one of them that has like a blaring, this should not be here, this is complete BS. The rest of them most likely went through a bad time or made some bad decisions or whatever, and they just need a roadmap and a guide to get them back to being lendable and to not having to live this life of low credit scores, right? And so we will have a solution. Whether something is accurate or inaccurate, we're going to have a solution. If it's inaccurate, we're getting it removed from the credit report in 30 days, or else we're having our attorneys sue that company. That's how aggressive we are, and that's what we can stand behind. Is it's going to be off, or we'll give your clients a free attorney, we'll get the result, and we'll sue them for damages too. But that's so rare, because most of the time it is your client's negative item, and we just need to help them work through those collections, charge off, profit and loss, late pays, thin credit files, right? We're going to provide education to ensure long-term credit. I want to get you a deal back. I want to get it done for you as quickly as possible. I want to create a repeat buyer for you as well, though, okay? And the only way that I do that is to make sure that they don't just do the things that they did to get here. I can boost pretty much anybody's scores up in a month, 2 months, whatever. But if I don't teach them how to not do that again, a lot of them are going to end up right back there, which means this is the only deal you're doing, and they don't really remember you as being a solution. They remember you as being just somebody that maybe got them a loan, or they don't remember you at all. So I want to be part of that client experience where they think, why would I ever go anywhere but with my C2 loan officer? officer. They took the time, they helped me, and now I'm qualified for a home loan. So our process, okay, every single file, we want to start off with a free credit review. Whether it's a report that you've pulled or that client indicated they have less than perfect credit and you did the math on what credit reports cost and you're like, I don't want to pull that quite yet because they said they were at a 550 credit score, right? We would pull a consumer credit report for $1. We'd get all 3 bureaus. Either way, we want, and it's not a lender report, so don't think I can replace your lender report. That's Mr. Gordon Chin out at Advantage or one of your partners. I don't do that. But my point is we're going to get a look at that fresh data right now. And we're going to be able to, within minutes, do an evaluation of what needs to happen, how long it's going to take, how much it's going to cost, the client involvement in this, and then that way you and your client and their realtor can make a decision whether or not this is the route that you want to go. Most of the time it's, well, we need to go this route, otherwise we don't have a deal, right? But sometimes you're deciding, can we go FHA or 45 days, could you get us up to a conventional sort of thing, right? And so that's what I want to look at is those files. But really I want to look at everything, whether you're 10 points away and you're just frustrated or you're 200 points away and you think that all hope is lost. I will get those deals back to you. And my question for you is always just, if somebody's in your ecosystem now, why would they ever not be? And it's usually lack of communication, lack of action items, and we can give both of those to your clients, okay? So when we first look at a file, about 40% of those files are gonna come straight back to you. That client doesn't need us, here's all they need to do. Pay this down, open this up, transfer this, close this, make this one phone call, okay? And we are going to also keep tabs on them every step of the way, because even if we're just giving them free and simple advice and action items, that communication still needs to be there. And let's just be honest, if they're below qualifying right now, I would guess that you would even say that your communication to those clients is probably just not quite as good as the ones that qualify right now, right? And so we will fill in those gaps, make the client feel great, make sure that they know that you're wanting to know where they're at every step of the way, and then get them back to you. Now, if a client has negative items, collections, charge-offs, profit and loss, late pays, or thin credit file, and they really need to be walked through everything, we're gonna come up with a custom game plan. And every single client that you send to us, we get this custom game plan for, and then they can choose whether to have us help them with it, or whether they say, I think I actually kind of know what I'm doing, I appreciate the game plan, and we can go our separate ways. So nobody is committing to us until we've drawn out the game plan, they understand everything that's going on, and then they want us to move forward. Now, if they do decide to move forward, then what we're doing is we're going to address the inaccurate, outdated, duplicated, and negative items. And like I said, yes, we do have a game plan for every item. If it's wrong, it's coming off the credit report or we're going after them. If it's right or comes back as legally verified, then what we're gonna do is, instead of like most credit repair companies where they say, oh, you know what we should do again? Dispute, bless you, dispute. And now all of a sudden you're 9 months later, your client's wondering why you ever sent them, you definitely didn't do a deal. I'm sure that sounds familiar to a lot of you. What we do is, after that first month or two, if the client agrees that this thing isn't wrong, it is theirs from the past, we have a debt resolution department. We're jumping on the phones, we're calling those creditors, we're calling up the original creditors or the collection companies, and we're saying, let's work this out. Let's get a settlement, let's get a pay for deletion. In some cases, we are working to get the document that you need to do to send into Advantage, to do the rapid rescore. In some cases, we're just getting that organic update that's gonna come 30 days later, but we're getting the resolution and then the credit score increase from it. But one way or the other, we're gonna have a plan for these validated items rather than just leaving them unresolved. A lot of your clients don't know things like if they go and they just pay collections off, that's gonna drop their credit scores. They're gonna do that on their own thinking they're doing something great. They're gonna come back and report to you. You're gonna have to say you just used some of your down payment money to drop your credit scores. And nobody's happy, right? We will get on the phone, we'll negotiate, we'll make sure that nothing that they do is gonna take them the other way. Now, during their process, they're gonna be assigned to one dedicated credit coach that's gonna walk them through the whole process. Like I said, we got those good, wholesome Iowa folks that take this really seriously. They are capped at the number of clients that they can handle, so that way they're making sure to answer all your clients' questions, answer your questions, and bridge that gap. Every time that a client logs in to check their status with us through their portal, they're seeing your face, your links, your contact information. They're even seeing the mission statement, which is, we are here to get you qualified for a conventional home loan with, and then we name drop you and your company. And then they're just reminded every time they log in that they're not here for credit repair. They are here to get qualified for a home loan with their family through their C2 loan officer. okay? Client readiness updates, I mentioned that you have a portal. Some of you I know are like, great, another portal, another password, right? This is redundant, okay? If you never logged into your portal, in my opinion, you'd be missing out on just the best credit repair experience out there, but you would still be able to operate with us at a high level, at a scaled level. We could have 50 clients in the hopper together because our communication is ridiculous. It really is top of any industry, and our partners will tell you that. We keep you updated every step of the way, whether or not you're in that portal. We give you the milestone updates. We let you know when it's time to repull credit. We also let you know if we think the client's getting a little flaky. So our coaches, as they have these conversations, I'm not saying this happens all the time, but when it does happen, it's important. If they say something like, I filled out an app and it said, or my sister's lenders told me, or anything like that, we're getting off of the phone with them and we're calling you or your LOA right away to say, hey, maybe a customer service phone call would be a good idea today. It sounds like they're wandering a little bit. We did remind them that you sent them over, they agreed, but maybe just give them a call and say, what's up today? And we help our lenders save a lot of deals that way just by being top of mind. Okay, and then ongoing education. That's the biggest one for us. We like to bookend it with education. Number one, we can get you a lot of business by helping to educate your community, okay? And we already have all of those things made, pre-made, ready to go, plug and play, ready to send to databases. We have social media graphics, we have videos answering every credit question. And so what we'd like to do is to help you, and we have the mechanisms to do this at scale, but we'd like to help you get out and educate your community and your database on the front end of things, okay? We have a kids credit ebook that's gonna help the future generations be ready to do business with you. And then by giving that to the parents, and as they're distributing it to their teens, to their young adults, they're obviously seeing that value that you're putting forward and your claim to being their lender for life, or their relationship driven lender, right? So education's super important. Even after you close the loan, the stats on lenders and realtors doing repeat business is just not as good as it could be, right? Like, a lot of people do one deal with one client per lifetime. I know that everybody in this room does better than that, and that's awesome. But if you didn't, this would be a great way to bridge that. Anybody that closes a loan with you wants a higher credit score. If you have an 820 credit score, you want an 850. Okay, so it applies to everybody. And if you can say, hey, listen, what we'd like to do is set you up with a free review and game planning session to put you online for that next 850, and then they're kept in with our updates. Even somebody with that high a credit score, they appreciate the credit education, they appreciate the pointers, and even if it's not pertinent to them, they're passing it on to their kids, because a lot of people will come to me and they'll say, hey, I have great credit, but how do I teach my kids about this? Like, where do I start? And so anyway, my point is, we can save deals for you. We can also create a lot more. So here's a perfect example. Michelle Hosang with C2 had sent us a deal. This one wasn't too crazy, except for there were some real problem accounts that, you see that we started with a 604 mid score, and I know we needed to get over a 640 was all. But there were some accounts that were stopping her in her tracks and the client in their tracks from being able to move forward with. We worked on this. We got 55% of the negatives deleted. They worked with our settlement company. We told them exactly to the dollar which cards to pay down at which dates, which maximized their scores, and then a few months later they were able to qualify with Michelle. So why should you build a credit repair pipeline? Okay, a lot of people are like, that sounds like the last thing I'd ever want to do. Like, I don't want to do that. I wouldn't blame you if it was one that you had to manage yourself. Okay, but when you have us here and we can work as a true credit incubator for you, there's no reason to I'm not a lender, and so I shouldn't say things like, if I was a lender, because I know that you don't want to hear that. But what I'm telling you is that there's just no one that applies for a loan with you that wouldn't benefit from credit score optimization or wouldn't appreciate it. However you want to dress it or frame it, don't say you're sending them to their credit repair partner, say you're sending them to the credit optimization partner, right? And that they're going to do a free review for you to tell you how to get to that 850 before their wife does. That's an ongoing battle in households, I promise you, and you know it too. So just lean into that a little bit and make sure that these people are seeing you as more than just that lender that could get the deal done, right? So keeps potential borrowers in your ecosystem instead of losing them to competitors. The bottom line is, I've seen our partners. I've seen what some of you do. Ross here has used us for years, and I've seen what people like him do with people that don't use credit repair. Does he lean into the fact that he took time for them when someone else didn't? Of course. Does he tell them that he cared about their family and that it's a relationship, not just a transaction? Of course. That's what they're going to say if it's not you, right? And so we want you to be able to say that. We want you to be able to keep that client in for, a long time and make sure that you're closing their refis and their move-up purchases. Increases the number of loan approvals. That's just obvious. You work with us, you will close more deals. If you get religious about it, where I'm seeing multiple looks a month, you're gonna also eventually, after 3 to 5 months, it would be totally reasonable that you would think that you're gonna close a deal or two on average per month with us. But it just depends on how much you're putting into the system, right? Because right now our updated numbers are that we have a 52% enrollment rate in 2025. So of the clients that you're sending to us, more than half of them are deciding, yes, I want to get going. You got to remember 40% of them were kicking back to you and saying they don't even need our help. So very few, only about 10% are saying, I don't want help. I'm going to do this on my own. No, thank you. And what I'll tell you is that 8 to 10% are probably folks that would have been tough to do the loan for, beyond just credit, beyond income. They just didn't want it bad enough. They were kicking the tires, right? Still, we're going to give them credit education. We're going to give them a chance to develop and raise their hand. Okay? It strengthens clients' relationships and your realtor referral relationships too. You have to keep in mind that we will do presentations for your home buyers. We will jump on and do presentations with your realtor groups. We will build entire programs for you with real estate organizations and groups where you can go and say, we have a credit improvement platform. We have a program. We're going to have them roll it out to your whole database, and we'll sit there and we'll do all the work for you. We'll do the education. We'll do the free reviews. We'll do the repair, and then we'll get them back to both you and your realtor partners when they're ready to go. Realtors really love that one, okay? So how to integrate us with your business? It's simple. You get that portal. If you're old school and want to email me and say, hey, Sam, I have a client, you can do that as well. We'll meet you there. We'll just upload it into your portal for you, but it's okay. So you can send that way. We're going to keep you updated every step of the way. Like I said, that portal is going to be real time. You can check on any lead. You can check on any client. You can submit clients. You can grab marketing information, all from in that portal, okay? And then you can automate referrals by using simple intake processes on a couple different levels. But if any of you out here are thinking like, how would I scale this? You guys have a vendor here, LO Ninja, who's a CRM. We're integrated with them. So you can very easily, and we can do that with a lot of other vendors too, but they're here and supporting and do a great job. But we can have it where if you're in dispositioning a file out, you can say needs credit repair. And we can build a great user experience where as soon as you click that button, it says, hey, I want to set you up with this and this and this, but you've moved on to the next file. So we can set you up with all that. We can meet you in the middle when it comes to technology to make this painless, because what I know is that if I ask you to break stride as a lender, if I ask you to do what you're doing and then stop, pull open credit repair, do all of this, I'm going to get you to do that 1 out of 4 or 5 times, right? If I can make it very, very simple for you to not break stride and to just be able to send them over to us very easily, that's something that I can ask you to do, on a consistent basis. And that's something that you will see reward for doing on a consistent basis as well. So how do you benefit? More closed loans. Bottom line, I am going to get deals back to you, and I'm going to make your user experience better. And it's going to be all through you having to do literally no more work. You're already saying whatever words you're saying. You're already clicking whatever buttons you're clicking. I'm just asking you to say a little different words. I'm just asking you to click a few different buttons, get them over to us, and let us do our job and make you look good and get the deal back, and everybody's happy. Build a steady stream of pre-qualified buyers. This is the time. So many people see these folks as problems, as annoying. I see them as seeds. We're just planting seeds all over the place. Not every seed takes. Some take longer than others to go, but all of a sudden you're looking out your window and you're like, wow, I'm really glad I did that, right? And it's a super rewarding process that pays you back over and over again. Obviously, you're going to increase your client retention. Just a few things to kind of close out with my credit guy is that we're one of the only credit repair companies that doesn't charge your borrowers any upfront fees. There's no fee to you or C2 at any time. We don't Like there's just nothing to our partners. Our borrowers only pay us if and when they choose to take on our services, and even then only 30 days later when we're already showing results. They've had multiple conversations with their credit coach. The value is undeniable by then. Now we also guarantee our turn time. So other credit repair companies that you've dealt with, you probably have wondered, well, we got to 9 months and the client gave up. With us, like I said, our process isn't to do the same thing over and over again. So that'll never happen. Our clients are usually with us anywhere from 2 to 6 months, depending on the severity of their profile. We don't charge anything until the 30th day of service. And then after that, we charge every 30 days, but we guarantee the time and price quote going in. So there's no runaway services of, this took 9 months. I thought it was only going to take 2. If that would happen, I would have been working for 7 months for free at that point. And I don't love doing that, which means that we will get that file back to you a lot faster than that. Now, if there would ever be an unpleasant experience, let's say that we have a borrower that didn't get value from us, and I will tell you this, it would more often than not be that borrower that we're talking about, that one that you're like, I'm sorry I sent this guy to you. I will refund that guy every penny of his that he's paid us, and we will move on together to the next file. That you're never gonna have a situation where a client goes, because my C2 loan officer sent me to credit repair, I'm pissed. That will never happen. We will provide value more than what we charge, and if we don't, or the client doesn't perceive that, then we'll absolutely make that right, and we'll move on and have a bunch of successful files together. So if you need us, I'm at the table out here over in the vendor hall. I got other little goodies for you, and more than anything, contact information. I have about a little bit over 5 minutes, so I want to make sure that I'm answering any questions that come up when it comes to credit repair, credit files. Yes, sir?
So first, I love the phrase credit optimization, because I think many borrowers, if you say credit repair,
yeah, huge stigma.
Yeah, it's kind of a negative connotation.
Yep.
You need credit repair.
Yeah.
Instead of, I'm going to help you optimize your credit score.
Yep.
Which will result in you qualifying for a better program, something like that.
Yep.
Then the second question, what is the fee to the borrower?
Yep. So nothing due until the 30th day, and if there's 3 or more negative items, and the only reason I say that is if you send me that borrower that's like, hey, I just got one negative item. Right now we're dealing with a lot of student loans popping up with 90-day lates, that sort of a thing, but it's a one isolated incident. That's only going to be $200 due on day 30. For somebody that has 3 or more negative items that we're working on, it's $350 due on day 30, and then it drops down to $100 a month as needed. But remember, I'm going to quote, if I quote 3 months, and that's why the client signed up with me, that client's not paying more than $550. So I better meet, my timelines.
Okay, so 550 for any number of deaths, 3 or more?
Yes, yeah. So like, let's say they had 8 negative items. It's $350 due on day 30, and then $100 on day 60, and $100 on day 90.
And if it takes longer than that, they just have to process more. So 550 is the maximum.
No, sorry. Just in that situation where I had quoted 3 months, then I'll stand by that time quote as well. So 3 months equals a $350 payment, 100 and 100. Meaning, even if I need to work on it more, it's not going to be, wow, you took longer than you were supposed to, and I paid you $300 more than I meant to. It'll just be, you took longer than you were supposed to. Does that make sense?
So on month 4, 5, and 6, because it took longer than it was supposed to.
Then it wouldn't, there's no cost to the borrower. Yeah, so as long as they follow our game plan, right? So like right in the beginning, we're very transparent. We say, you are going to need to pay down your city card to $246 within the next 60 days. Can you do that? Cool. Can you pay this one down? Cool. Can you set funds aside for the 2 collections that we're most likely going to have to settle out? Awesome. As long as those things, the few things that the borrower said, I know I'm going to have to do before we started, as long as they've done those things, if I haven't gotten them where they need to be, 1, it would be crazy and I hate it, but 2, I will work until I get them where they need to be.
Is there a sheet that describes that?
Absolutely. I just didn't want to hit you guys with pricing because I didn't want to sell too hard. But yeah, I have everything for you.
Something that a borrower can be provided, because they're going to be like,
Yeah.
this is kind of how it works.
Yeah, we got a full pricing sheet for you. And then we also, for any of you, can do a Okay, we can do a white label page. So if any of you want a landing page that you can direct borrowers to, and then we can also co-brand those with realtors. So if you want to kind of claim your realtors, what we'll do is we'll create these landing pages, and then you're going to go out to each of your realtors. You're going to say, hey, listen, when it comes to clients like this, I have a process in place and I want all of them. You're going to have them fill out their information here. It's going to drop straight into my credit guy, and they're going to keep us updated every step of the way. So you don't even have to submit those leads. And there's some deployment strategies with that I'd love to go over with you, where you can get realtors bringing in dozens of leads for you over the weekend from open houses and things like that.
I'm going to ask you, go ahead.
What are you guys seeing for negotiated deletions? What percentage of the debt?
Yeah, so usually if we're trying for a full deletion and a settlement, they're going to want 70 to 100% of the amount for a deletion, okay? It also depends on how old the debt is. Now, we're not going to give them that, but there are certain situations where they're like, okay then, like we'll give you the settlement but not the deletion. And we're like, well, we kind of need that deletion. So it really is situational, but usually we're starting settlement agreements because we want to get them done somewhere around the 25 to 30% negotiation and then working from there. But again, it just is going to be company by company, but you could call me up and say, hey, listen, we have a collection with Midland and it's on this type of debt, and I could tell you real-time data, we're getting a 62% deletion on that type of thing right now over the last 3 months.
Are you finding, will they 1099 the customer if you negotiate that?
Sometimes, yeah, on the settled amount, they're going to send them a 1099, and there's not much way around
Will
that.
they take that out of it as part of the settlement, or if you can up it by 10 cents, let's say, to avoid the 1099?
We can't, I mean, we can negotiate whatever they want to. It's just, it's so spotty anyway. Like, you don't see everybody follow through with the 1099, and then some of them that you would have never expected on, they get a 1099 and we're like, you're actually not eligible for 1099 on that, just push back on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you find, like, if you had your attorney look at it under the acts or the fair credit,
Yep.
like that, are they making mistakes where you can get those deleted? Is that a common thing? Or are they
Yeah, FCRA, FDCPA, it's just, the mistakes are very rarely so large that they have to do more than just correcting, right? And they have a 30-day period that's given to them under the FDCPA, or sorry, the FCRA, where they can correct that. And so if they correct it and update it and it's a minor error, then it's just done. If it's big enough, then they'll have to delete it. Yep. Sorry, I think I got time for one more. Yep.
What are you seeing with the credit, with the dates for medical?
Yep. So.
Under the new law, what do you see?
Yeah, so the new update has been put off for 90 days. It went from March 17th to June 15th. That was going to remove all medical. Now medicals of over $500 that are unpaid can still stay on the credit report. All paid medicals drop off the report, usually within 30 days, max 60 days. But any medicals, we're just trying to settle them out for as little as possible, because then that's going to equal a deletion for us here within 30 days usually. I think we got time for one more.
In closing.
Yes, in closing.
Can you give us 3 things to write down
Yep.
when everybody gets back to their office that you want us to do?
When in doubt, let your partner, my credit guy, look at the report. If I was sitting in a desk next to you and you would say, hey, Sam, look at my screen, what do you think of that? Send that report over. You'll get a good feel for what we're looking for soon. Don't disqualify people. If somebody seems like they don't need our help, or if they need too much help, don't disqualify them. We need to take a look at them. And then just don't underestimate how much people want this information. Just because you've heard it in one way or the other a million times, I promise you, consumers and realtors are thirsty for credit information. They love it. We fill rooms and Zooms.
But what about going back through client lists and looking for low credit scores and trying to, hey.
Yep, we can do database blasts. I would absolutely sort through, and then we have them ready to go for you, or we can customize blasts out to your databases saying, take us up on this call to action. So just let us know you want to do that, and we'll handle all the heavy lifting. Okay? Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.